Hello, classmates. In this oral presentation, we will be discussing the topic of human trafficking from multiple perspectives. Were you aware many women, men, children, and teens are human trafficked? And every 30 seconds, a human is trafficked in some form or another. From an interdisciplinary perspective, yes, it can hold its challenges when viewing or observing a complex problem from multiple perspectives, and let alone a variety of concentrations. But by integrating from multiple perspectives, we can agree that human trafficking is a global problem. It is important to utilize specific areas of concentrations and is the ultimate purpose of this literature research. The purpose of this literature research is to clearly view a variety of standpoints, such as analyzing and justifying. So we'll be identifying the problem, insights and integration, and even understanding. Do you believe human trafficking is a problem? There will be specific approaches regarding human trafficking using REPCO's 10-step interdisciplinary research process, also known as the IRP, and will be implemented throughout the course of this PowerPoint. We are addressing that human trafficking is a complex issue. So yes, human trafficking is a global complex issue. But when given deep consideration or thought, have you asked yourself why human trafficking numbers are still increasing over time? There are constraints and insights such as communication, not enough awareness or training programs, and being able to integrate this as an interdisciplinarian is important to understand this complex issue from multiple perspectives. The interdisciplinarian research topic will be defining the problem, justifying, using an interdisciplinary approach, identifying relevant research, literature research, identifying conflicts and insights, and even having a common ground. So the interdisciplinary research process is used to help approach this complex problem and to let others know that research is needed in this societal issue. Human trafficking addresses many issues or lack thereof and is an unresolved societal problem. And it makes an urgent need, and that's what addresses this as a complex issue. A complex issue uses many disciplines and has different approaches, but the IRP is used to address this need in human trafficking. However, there are many scholars that will agree to disagree and have different perspectives on each of the disciplines mentioned. Some interdisciplinarians have different foundation when it comes to viewing topics regarding different disciplines. So the two disciplines that we will use in order to conduct this research are history and healthcare organization. So human trafficking is a global complex issue, but when given a deep consideration or thought, have you asked yourself, okay, why are these numbers increasing? It's shocking to know that every 30 seconds a human is falling victim to human trafficking. Relevant disciplines regarding Healthcare, lack of knowledge workers in the healthcare. So yes, our healthcare workers are not knowledgeable on specializing in taking care of human traffic victims. It's evident that human trafficking victims succumb to several things, and to mention a few, such as coercion, betrayal, exploitation, and several other things. But another important factor is the process of human trafficked victims. So they have to endure once he or she has been saved by officials or other professionals. Not only are their healthcare needs, but also the victim's mental health that will need to be addressed. Victims come back to the real world and need many resources such as counseling, healthcare needs, and even much more. And the professionals that tend to the victims are not knowledgeable on how to handle the situation. And the other discipline that we're using for the research of this paper is history. And there are several scholarly research articles that pertain to specific reasoning regarding the history and laws regarding the judicial system. It's obvious human trafficking needs to further research, and adjustments need to be administered and carried out to its fullest ability. But there are many articles that state that judicial systems lack the infrastructure and expertise when dealing with investigations. Many bills also implement changes and need to conduct more of a harsh punishment for traffickers. Meanwhile, there are others that believe some traffickers are even overpunished. The research above regarding disciplines about human trafficking matter because it shows regarding research what all has been done by the Constitution, or claims even that nothing's been changed. Human trafficking is a global, complex problem, and many people from different backgrounds can work together, so human trafficking numbers will decrease. Identifying conflicts between insights and locating their sources has its challenges, and the healthcare and history hold their own techniques regarding the care of victims, and being able to collaborate with each discipline. And integrating the two shows that one coincides and collaborates with the other. There are many changes that can be implemented in healthcare with the healthcare and law enforcement. An insight is, for instance, the truck drivers having a specific company that have been trained to spot signs of human trafficking. But what if all companies could implement this and have their drivers trained and communicate efficiently with human trafficked hotline or other places that tend to human trafficking? And also not having enough programs for awareness and training for professionals. Also, a constraint is there is a number on some trucks for a specific company, but how can people call without it being a safety issue? I also thought more QR codes could be assigned, as if it was a speed limit sign, or one of the caution signs on the side of the road, and drivers can just snap a picture and call. Uh, um, so yeah. it's imperative to implement a bridge that will help decrease the numbers in human trafficking regarding history and healthcare organizations or any other disciplines. Finally, from an interdisciplinary view, there are many perspectives to view regarding this complex issue about human trafficking. There are many people who are affected: victims, victims' family, friends, professionals, etc. So therefore, that's when you can pull in other several disciplines, such as medical professions, education, etc. Throughout this research, it has been clearly expressed and justified that human trafficking is a global complex problem. And I have stated two disciplines: healthcare and history. And these are integrated from an interdisciplinary perspective. Human trafficking is a societal issue that needs to be addressed.